what a fabulous program the Zip Book program is.
I've ended up using the program quite a bit because I read a lot.
I can't say enough about it. It keeps me reading. I think I was born with a book in my hand.
My greatest joy is my visits to the library.
ZipBook started about 6 years ago. It was an experiment begun in the county of Shasta, and it was kind of a substitute for interlibrary loan. Because when you get into areas where people are really spread out, it's extremely expensive to ship materials around between libraries. And somebody came up with the bright idea, wouldn't it be cheaper just to buy it and add it?
If a customer is looking for an item that we don't carry in our collection and we can find it on Amazon for $35 or less, we have it shipped directly to their home. It usually arrives in a couple of days, which is why we call it Zip. It's very quick.
It's at no cost to the patron, which is great, and they only need to know 3 things about the book: the title, the author, and the publishing date. The rest is just information about them, and then we do the rest.
It does get checked out on their account for about 2 months. We ask that they return it to the front desk because it will not look like a library book. And then we check it in off their account and decide if it's something we want to add to our collection or not. The fact that we add them to our collection and we actually check them out onto their account, even though it's being shipped from Amazon, means that first off, they'll see it on their library account, so they can access it online, they can renew it online, and then patrons can place holds on it, which helps us to determine, hey, this is something somebody definitely wants, and we can streamline that process when it comes back to us.
They come in and they're looking for something, especially something really specific, and we don't carry it. Being able to say, hey, we have this program where we can order it for you and we can send it directly to you and you can have it, and then we get it as a library book and then we can offer it to everybody. It really helps, fill that gap that we have within our system.
When we first brought the program into our system, we sent out this bulk email list. And we were getting a lot of people out of the woodwork who maybe haven't come to the library in a couple years, and all of a sudden they had a reason to come back in. And a lot of them were kind of skeptical about it, thinking that they were going to reap these huge fines at the end of it. But once we told them they were getting a brand new book delivered right to their door, and all they had to do was just read it and bring it back, a lot of them kept on coming back. A lot of them kept on using the books.
I thought, there's no way you can just fill out this little form and then you get a book on your door, just as if I had ordered it from Amazon. And so I was a little skeptical, but I did it, and the books came quickly, and we were just able to continue adding to the list of books we're reading aloud or audiobooks that we're listening to.
So we first heard about the ZipBooks program through my son, actually. He did something on the computer, and then a couple days later he was checking for a delivery to the door, and I was wondering, what's the delivery? He said, oh, it's a book that's coming, and it's from the library.
For us in Placer County, we have quite concentrated population in the southern area. But when you go up the mountains, if we were doing a lot of interlibrary loan, it would be very cost prohibitive, and it would also probably take quite a while. The Zip books come so fast, it's just amazing. People get them sometimes a couple of days after they've ordered them, and it makes them very happy.
The closest bookstore is in Chico, and that's an hour's drive away. It's just a fabulous opportunity to get to read books that I read about on the internet without having to make the drive and spend the money. And I can read at my leisure and return it to the library, and they're pleased to get it. It works out beautifully.
I think that the ZipBooks program provides community members with a chance to have a voice in their local library's collection development, and it allows staff members to connect more with community members on what their information needs are.
Most libraries have an acquisitions budget. They're given a certain allotment of money, and they task certain librarians with sometimes different genres. You're the teen librarian, you're the reference librarian, etc. Those people are given a certain pot of money and told, try to buy books that everyone's going to check out. And at the end of the year, you can get statistics on what books check out and which ones don't. If you buy books that no one's checking out, that is just sunk money that's going nowhere. This is a guaranteed win. This is something that as soon as someone makes the request, that's one person. Sometimes that's more than any book will ever get checked out. Recently, we developed a list that generated all of the Zip books that were purchased and added to our collection, and to which libraries, which of our 8 branch libraries they were sent. The staff members at each of those libraries used those lists to develop displays look what your community is ordering through ZipBooks. And the result has been almost instantaneous. People like reading what other people are reading.
I'm an aspiring horseman, so there's a lot of books that would be unavailable to me without the program.
I think the ZipBooks program particularly impacts our local library and community because it diversifies the catalog, right? I mean, I understand that libraries have different people who make the orders of books that go in catalogs, and there is a request process in place, but this makes the request process a lot more seamless, I think, so more people might be encouraged and engaged in requesting different book titles, and then that diversifies the catalog and reflects maybe more accurately what the local library community's reading preferences or reading interests are.
It makes me feel proprietary. You know, it makes me feel like I'm part of the library system, like I'm doing my little bit to give back to something that is important to me and to my life.
It puts books in that otherwise aren't coming in. One of the things is these all have a sticker that says ZipBook on them, and I'm always, when I see one that's somebody else put a ZipBook in, and I'll look and see what it is. And there have been a few that I'm like, I never even heard of this book, but somebody else found it and it looks interesting, and so I'll check it out that way too. So it definitely allows for different types of books to come in, and books that I think otherwise wouldn't necessarily get noticed, but that patrons like.
The fact that the community gets to choose the books for the library, I think that's real advantage. And we all like books and we talk about them a lot, so the fact that we can get the most current books that we all can share is great.
You're able to purchase books that's not available in the library, and then we are able to add in books that they love to read, especially my son, and because his friends, he will go and tell his friends about the books, and they're also excited about it.
When I shared the ZipBooks with my classmates, most of them were astounded that you were able to get these books just like that. If you wanted the books, then you could get it. Most of my friends wanted many different books that the library didn't have, but as soon as I told them about it, they were able to get more books that they would love to read.
The feeling that it's like a birthday gift. The idea that you're going to get something in the mail, a birthday present, but one that is going to be shared with 100,000 other card holders in the county. So that's what's so wonderful about it. It's something that comes direct.
What I like best about the ZipBooks is that when you really need it, you don't have to run out of the house.
They sometimes come unexpectedly to our doorstep, and it's fun to open the boxes.
I think people who would really benefit from the ZipBooks program are people who are trying to learn a second language, because ZipBooks provides foreign language books also that patrons can request, and they can get them that wouldn't necessarily otherwise be provided by the library.
Then it goes back to our technical services department, and our collection development librarian decides if it will go into our collection or not, which probably 99% of them do. And then it gets cataloged, and it gets a label on the spine saying it's a zip book, so people can identify what books individuals in the community have asked for.
Well, we've got a list with us right now, and there are 17 books on it that we have gotten through Zip this year. And I mean, that's...
The year's not over.
Yeah, the year's not over. So, I mean, we use it constantly.
It comes so fast to your door that most of the time whenever I need a new book from the series, then I'm not left on a cliffhanger. It comes immediately, pretty much.
I think the beauty of ZipBooks is that it's everything. It's not just one type of book. It's not just fiction versus nonfiction. It's audiobooks, it's self-help, it's historical. It's so based on what it is a specific community member wants. And then because they are part of the community, other people want those things too. And so that's why it's such a thrill when you see a zip book go out on a holds list, or someone picks it up off the shelf and they come to the service desk to check it out. You think, oh, hey, somebody else wanted just that same book, and now you get to have it. It's such a wonderful way to see the connection amongst our community members.
Some of the great things that I've been hearing from the recipients, it's almost incredulous. It's who's not getting who's getting the short end of the stick? Where is this money coming from? Are you sure it's free? I mean, it's kind of interesting that and almost it's almost fun to tell them, like, no, this is it's covered. It's not coming out of it's not coming out of fines or fees. It's something that someone saw an opportunity, they allocated funds, and you're reaping the benefits. And it's great to see people find yet another reason to come to their library.
I often joke that if I was ever stranded and had to start all over again, I would just need two things: an ID and a library card.
I love the library services. I use the library all the time. I'm very glad it's still an institution. I'm glad that ZipBooks exists because I think it helps a lot of people, and I will definitely use it as long as it's around.